can go wherever you want, see whatever you want to, but a place is only as good as the people you know in it. I think this is a pretty good place. Welcome back, legends.
So I've heard that you want some more, you're ready and willing to settle the score. 90 plus episodes, yet so much in store. That amazing iceberg, we ain't hit the core, Ever wonder what made Devil Man cry, or why this guy can spy with his devilish eye? No need to question or prod and pry. Just watch me on YouTube till your neurons fry. Check it, season 1 got that out of the way. Season 2 kid stuff, you know we don't play. Season 3 that's garbage, better throw it away. Season 4 in the door and it's here to stay. We got hours of info that you can't ignore, like a hit from Truckun or a Snorlax snore. Anime's the currency, and if you feeling poor, just tune into Anime Legend Season. Hello, everybody. My name is AfroX, the Anime Guide, here to guide the new into the old and the old into some of the new or something. Sorry for that a little bit of dead air time there. I was just responding to a quick message. Anyways, welcome everybody, and tonight, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about the One Piece movies. Yes, the non-canon One Piece movies. Actually, one of them is considered canon. As One Piece movies, that's the point. And yeah, we are going to be getting into that. Just a go check out the Patreon at www.patreon.com/AfroX. If you watch the newest video that came out today, the new ad for the Patreon is in the video. So you probably already saw that. Anyways, hope you guys liked the Bartholomew Kuma iRobot AMV. That took a lot of emotional grit to make. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I don't, you would have to be St. Jacob at AMV. But yeah. Anyways, let's get into the meat and potatoes of it all. So, forgot to mention very quickly that check out the Facebook page. Facebook page is up and going strong, and also the AfroX official fan club group on Facebook. Sorry, just had to tell one more person that I'm streaming right now. All right, so 5 minutes in, let's get to it. So, One Piece movies. So these are all the most of them are non-canon movies that didn't actually happen in the manga, but they were kind of made into extra stuff for One Piece. So just starting off, I'm going to try to place these in the timeline as best as I can because they do have a place in the timeline of One Piece. So pretty much we're starting off with One Piece Strong World. So One Piece Strong World, I'm pretty sure, is set before the 2-year time skip. And that's because Luffy does not yet have his scar yet, and he's wearing his original costume. Um, at the using any like Conqueror's Haki or Armament Haki or any. He's not using Haki at all. He's using straight up Gear Third, pretty much what he knew after Enies Lobby. Um, so, uh, uh, One Piece Strong World pretty much it follows the adventures or the adventure of the Straw Hats as they kind of run into and then get into kind of some bad stuff with Golden Lion Shiki, which Golden Lion Shiki is actually a canon character in the manga of One Piece, even though Strong World is not considered canon. So Golden Lion Shiki was one of the members of the Rock. In the lore of Strong World, it said that Garp and Sengoku actually fought against Golden Lion Shiki when he tried to attack Marineford and almost destroyed it. So, personally, is about the Straw Hats are trying to stop Golden Lion Shiki because his plan is so he has a devil fruit called the Float Fruit, and it makes it so that he can, on a cellular level, make things weight lower or have a ton of weight. So pretty much he's in the same vein as I believe it was Miss Valentine's Day. Is no Miss Golden Week. Um, um, and so alteration, devil fruit realm. So, but there's no limit to the things he can float or make weighted. And because of Gomez is an absolute master of his devil fruit because of him being able to make anything float. He pretty much can control the molecular structure of anything. One of the things he makes is uh, gigantic lions completely made out of sand. And Yeah, so they do take a lot of liberties with his devil fruit and what he can do. One of the other things about Golden Lion Shiki is that his arm and I believe one of his swords, because he got them cut off. So one thing you'll really find in what is it the One Piece movies is people having limbs off, which actually reminds me that I have to add another one to my list of ones that we're going to talk about. Um, so, uh, 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 yeah, Strong World, Straw Hats against Golden Lion Shiki, and his plan is so pretty much Golden Lion Shiki's whole territory, his whole realm is a group of islands that he's stolen by making them float in the sky, and he has put the inhabitants of these islands kind of because a lot of the islands have a very toxic poison in the air, and but it keeps away the wild animals, but it also kills people, and so uh oh, Trix is in here. He says both his legs are cut off. Okay, so not his arm, but both his legs are swords. So and so pretty much Golden Lion Shiki is kind of being a horrible dude to these people that didn't. They're just like, I didn't even ask to be on a floating island. Like, I don't want to be here. Um, so yeah. So I won't spoil anything, but that's pretty much the premise of One Piece Strong World. Um, Nami gets kidnapped in a list for the final fight and stuff like that. So, moving on. Sorry to anyone who didn't hear much about Strong World, but I did start at about 5 minutes. Moving on. I'm going to talk about One Piece Adventure on Nebula. So, One Piece Adventure on Nebulandia. Is it's one I think it has a bad story. I think it has the greatest villain, not only in One Piece, but the most effective villain in One Piece, which is Kome. So pretty much, Adventure on Nebulandia starts off with the Straw Hats, thinking that they see a ship, uh, uh, a bunch of shipwrecked women, and so of course Sanji, being the simp he is, says we need to go rescue them. So they head over to rescue them, only to find out that it's a trick, and that Silver Fox Foxy has returned and is there and wants to have. So during this Davy Back fight, he reveals that he has a new assistant whose name is White Feather Kome. And pretty much what it turns out is that White Feather Kome, or also known as Genius Tactician, has come up with an extremely elaborate plan to wipe out the Straw Hats completely. Like, he's thought of everything. So, and he's pretty much just using Foxy to put his plan in motion. So, anyways, Zoro and Sanji are kind of put in a drugged state by some poisonous mushrooms, and Chopper, so Kome has the antidote mushroom, and so they managed to steal one from him, and escapes from the cage that they're in. So Zoro and Sanji are kidnapped, which I definitely want to do a video. I'm planning on doing a video on why Oda lowballs in most of the One Piece movies. Zoro's the one getting kidnapped, at least. So pretty much they get kidnapped. And like is a vice admiral in the Marines, which shout out to like vice admirals now, because vice admirals got some cred from this film. So he's thought of everything. Like, as he's sailing away, Foxy tries to uses a mirror to like blast the beam right back. Like a mirror on the whole ship. So anyway, they bring Zoro and Sanji to the island of Nebulandia. And they're like, well, the only way you'll be able to get them back to normal is by getting the antidote from this island that you're currently on. So everyone else except for Brooke and Chopper, they go to Nebulandia. The mushroom, and so they head there, and this dude, the Kome, this genius tactician Kome, has literally thought of everything, because he brought them to an island, and when they get there, they realize that the island will send out vines that respond to devil fruits, because the island, most of the island is below sea level, so all of the water that's coming into the plants is seawater. And so brute powers on this island. Um, and so that's something really hard that they have to deal with. And he's pretty much like, if you can figure out how to get into the tower that I'm in among all these towers, uh, uh, then you can have your fun. And so pretty much a bunch of different things happen. Um, the entire island is really just designed to keep Luffy down. At night, there's a whole mist that uh, uh, comes up, and the mist is all made of seawater. And so Luffy is just naturally in an environment where he is super weakened, can barely move. Um, and so pretty much Frankie and Usopp try to go in and try to make him, and pretty much this tactician has already planned for this. He what is it? He knows that they're going to go in through a certain place filled with water, and so he sends electricity through it, which completely takes out Frankie, overloads Frankie, and then Usopp has no choice but to be captured as well. So then pretty much he calls out to Luffy, and he's like, yo, I'll tell you what, like, I got all your friends out here out in the open, come alone and you can save them. So of course Luffy, at the behest of Nami, runs off by himself to go save his friends, and he gets there, and we find out that Kome can use haki on his fan. Not a surprise. A lot of people can use armament haki on their weapons, but his haki can actually change the shape of the weapon and make it a sword or like a spear if he wants. So pretty much Luffy's super weak right now. Like he's like in a mist of he's pretty much on land, but he's in seawater, and so he's going to try to save his friends, and a square hole opens up, and so which of course he can't fall into. So then Kome comes up and he just steps on his hands, does his whole villain monologue, and then pretty much just like pushes Luffy into the hole. And, and, and Luffy his fan as a sword and spears Luffy into the water. Like this dude literally this dude literally brought Luffy the closest to death that I've ever seen Luffy. Like the only time I've seen Luffy more close to death than this moment was probably when he got covered in poison by Magellan. But yeah, this is like this villain was super effective. And so everything seems hopeless, and then Nami comes back, kind of saves everyone, dives in, gets Luffy out of the seawater, and out of the hole and stuff. And then pretty much there's a big final battle. And for some reason during the final battle, those vines, you know, the ones that like reach out and grab devil fruit users when they use their abilities, yeah, those don't happen anymore. Like the writers just completely wrote that out. How convenient for the the characters. But yeah, so that is an adventure on Nebulandia. Moving forward, we have Heart of Gold, and Heart of Gold is a really good One Piece movie. Um, Tricks here saying Strong World has to be top One Piece films. I don't know. I'm gonna get to my favorite in a little bit here. Anyway, so Heart of Gold. Heart of Gold is kind of not a surprise there, but pretty much in Heart of Gold, there's this girl who comes from a mysterious island. On the mysterious island is her father created something called pure gold, which is an element that's challenging, and it can stop you from, or it can stop any ailments that you have. Pretty much, pure gold is the treasure of all treasures. And I know we're talking about One Piece here, but yeah. So pretty much what it turns out, a lizard that can walk across the water. Um, so she escapes from the Marines and these treasure hunters. Now, this treasure hunter and the main villain of Heart of Gold is named Max Treasure, and he's just a treasure hunter who loves the thrill of hunting for treasure. And then on his crew is my favorite non-canon One Piece character, whose name is Psycho P, and he's my favorite non-canon One Piece character because just like Killer B, he raps everything he says, which is super cool. I absolutely love it. He is the Killer B of One Piece. His devil fruit is the color fruit, and so he can pretty much color anything, any like the background, and so he's constantly in charge of disguising everyone on the ship and Max Treasure's entire ship. But his devil fruit can be seen through with powerful enough observation hockey. You can see through it, or see through the illusion. So he's awesome. So pretty much in Heart of Gold, turns out that the island they have to go to is in like the third stomach of a giant fish. And so they're getting swallowed by a fish, and I think it's Usopp who says something strange. He says, "This has never happened to us before." And I'd like to point out to Usopp that it has in fact happened. So that's strange for him to mention this, or to point that out. So, anyways, they get into the fish. Luffy gets Luffy and the little girl get separated. Pretty much, the bad guy Max Treasure is in there with them too, and he pretty much so Max Treasure's devil fruit is the chain fruit. He can create chains from his body, and pretty much that. So he wraps up Luffy in a bunch of chains, and on the island in the first stomach of this fish, there's like dinosaurs on it. And so while he's there, Luffy finds the little girl's father, who has been there for like 200 years. And this little girl is actually like probably about 212 years old, because the pure gold has stopped her from aging. And I believe just her father being in proximity to the actual giant lump of, he's been there for like 200 years not knowing where his daughter is, and he's pretended to be a dinosaur in order to survive. So he finds and unties Luffy from all the chains, and pretty much do the booby trap puzzles to try to get to the pure gold. Pretty much by the end of it, what happens is Max Treasure does get the belly of the fish, and the Straw Hats all escape. But Nami finds a ticket to go to a casino city on the ocean, that is called um, that is called Grand Tesoro, which is the guy that hired Max Treasure to find pure gold. And that is a lead in into Film Gold. So in Film Gold, the Straw Hats, known as Grand Tesoro, which is a gigantic city. It's a city of gold, and it's also a gigantic casino. Um, so pretty much in Film Gold, and I'm going to try to speed this up. Pretty much in Film Gold, they get there, and they're treated very, very nicely, treated like celebrities, stuff like that, because they're super famous pirates. And it turns out they're all being tricked by the guy who runs the whole thing, whose name is Tesoro. And Tesoro's devil fruit power is, you guessed it, the gold fruit. He has the ability to turn his body into gold. He can turn he can manipulate any gold that if he sees gold, he can take it, turn it into a liquid. And pretty much he controls the entire ship, because the entire ship is made of gold. And even to the point that he constantly rains down gold dust upon the people that are coming onto the ship, so that if they ever disobey him, he can immediately turn their bodies into gold, solid gold. So pretty much he tricks the Straw Hats into getting a extremely large debt. Ta-da, Zoro being kidnapped again. So Zoro's kidnapped. They all have to figure out a way to save him. And pretty much they are helped out by an old kind of ally of Nami's, who is talked about in Heart of Gold. I can't remember her name, but it turns out that pretty much Nami was captured by Max Treasure a long time ago, and uh, uh, friend had left her to die when she said she would come back. So that's all like a past thing. So pretty much she's like, hey, I'm actually secretly not working for Tesoro. I'm a double agent, and pretty much I'm going to help you to get to his giant gold stash, pretty much the vault of the casino, and then you'll have enough money to buy your friend back. So pretty much they and they all split up and have different roles. One of the villains in it, I believe his name is Suru. Yeah, Suru. He also appears in Heart of Gold, but his uh, devil fruit ability is to go through anything, pretty much being intangible like Toby from Naruto. And he also has the ability to create kind of portal tunnels in between 2 points. Um, Pretty much end of it all, they get to a big final fight, and it turns out that seawater, of course, will um, get rid of Tesoro's gold effect. It'll get like all of the gold out of your system, and it will dissipate all the gold that is being used or like in the environment. So they dissipate all of it, and then pretty much in the final fight, Tesoro comes back, and he's in like pretty much a Titan from Attack on Titan made of solid gold. And I kind of wish Sengoku had been there. But anyways, him and Luffy fight. It's really important to note that Luffy does use me to another point. Heart of Gold and Film Gold are set after Dressrosa, and how I know this is because Nami mentions to the little girl in Heart of Gold, um, she doesn't really believe that Luffy's strong, and Tsunami's like, he just beat Doflamingo. And she's like, who's Doflamingo? And she's like, you've never heard of Doflamingo? And so that sets Heart of Gold and Film Gold right after the events of Dressrosa, um, which, uh, yeah, means there's a lot of Dressrosa and Zhao. Um, but anyways, pretty much in the end, Luffy obviously wins because main character. Tesoro's defeated and taken in by the Marines. Sabo actually shows up and fights against Rob Lucci at one point on a Marine ship. That's pretty cool. Trickster says his gold ability was one of the most dangerous. It really was. And I do hate that Zoro is the one that got captured. Anyway, so that's pretty much the end of Film Gold. All the Straw Hats sail off into the sunset. Now for the what was it? The film that I wasn't going to mention, but I should mention. Um, One Piece Film Z. One Piece Film Z is a very, very important one because it makes one of the characters, the main villain, Zed, or Black Arm Zephyr, as he used to be called, used to be a uh, an admiral in the Marines. And I think what I like about this film is it really showcases just how difficult a fight against an admiral is. So Film Z gave us one of the best Kizaru fights where he fights coming down. But one of the best Kizaru fights, which was really, really cool. But still not a showcase of Kizaru using his true power by any means. But Trix says, damn, movie Z, best One Piece movie. It was really, really good. I liked it. Personally, I'd say that film Gold has to be my favorite, but um, film Z pretty much um, Zed is an ex Marine admiral who kind of starts to make his own branch of the Marines, who he calls the Neo Marines, and that's kind of a reference to Neo, Nazis. So pretty much, he makes his own branch of the Marines, and he wants to make a much more aggravated approach to pirates. He pretty much like he take a Akainu and tell Akainu that he can do anything that he wants to eradicate pirates, and you've got Zed right there. And so the technical name for the movie is One Piece Film Z. I personally like to call it Film Z, but they do call him Zed. Anyways, what Zed is doing is he's trying to blow up 3 different islands that are called the endpoints, legendary islands that pretty much control all of the like underwater volcanoes in the world. And he wants to blow them up using something called Dynastones. And pretty much one Dynastone is like probably I'd say one Dynastone is probably at the same time, I'd say. So but he wants to use like a ton of them. So on the islands he does use them on, they blow up, and when they blow up, like for months, it is just a flaming column of fire, and there is ash raining from the sky. So pretty much why he wants to destroy the endpoints is because if you destroy all three endpoints, then pretty much every volcano will erupt, and all of the undersea volcanoes will erupt. And he's saying that since pirates are on the seas, that this will kill every pirate, but it will also kill everyone else in the entire world at the same time. It will pretty much destroy the world. So pretty much the Straw Hats and kind of Kuzan, who doesn't make an appearance in this, they have to uh, they get soundly beaten by Zed. They get very after he gets hit by the explosion of the first island blowing up, and when he finds out they're pirates, he goes ham. He does not. We only get one of these. He does not give a fuck, and he like he completely um starts wrecking the ship. One thing you should note about Zed is he did lose his arm, and so his arm now is pretty much a, a gigantic like cannon that is made out of sea stone, and when he punches with it, it can also explode, or has an explosive charge in it. So his arm is gigantic, and so he's wrecking the entire ship, and like by the end of it, just moved on. And you're like at that point, you're pretty sure that the Straw Hats are done. Like um the Sunny's been wrecked. Uh so pretty much the thing that happens to the Straw Hats that kind of prompts them to go after Zed is that one of Zed's subordinates has what's called the return fruit. And if she touches you, she can reverse your age by 12 years, or she can reverse the age of anything by 12 years. So she touches Nami. Nami turns into Nami. Um, Robin turns into like an 18-year-old, something like that, which makes you realize that Robin is a lot older than most people think she is. And she also touches Brooke, who goes from this point, I think he's 120, and he goes, or no, he's 90, and he goes back to being like mid 70s, something like that. Um, but anyways, he's not very much affected because he's just he's a skeleton. But anyways, so they go after Zed. Pretty much end of the film. Big fight. Because Luffy wasn't relying on Gear Third. He wasn't relying on like what was it? Gear Fourth, anything like that. Luffy is purely relying on like he does use Conqueror's Haki. So at this point, he does know Conqueror's Haki, which sets this after the 2-year time skip. And he's also using Armament Haki during his fight with Zed. But it's just a punch battle. It is a battle of of, of wills, literally, because of them going back and forth with Haki. Pretty much at the end, Kuzan lets the help the Straw Hats to escape, and the Marines pretty much murder Zed for all of his crimes. Um, and so yeah, that is One Piece film Zed. Now the last film that we are going to talk about tonight is going to be the newest One Piece film, which, as you know, is called One Piece Film Red. Um, I have covered it. So Trix says Z had a story comparable to Kuma for two One Piece character stories. Kind of true, except Kuma was never evil. Um, Trickster says Zed is an important character for the Navy combat wise. Reason is the character, not counting Garb, shows how an admiral battles using haki and no devil fruits. That is a very good thing to point out. Is that had pure strength, and I think that's what it's going to come out to in the end. And I think that's what Oda's doing in the manga right now. Pardon me for having a theory, but I think that Oda is trying to show that in the end, base strength can become greater than armament haki. Base strength is more powerful than armament haki. Um, but when used in conjunction with it, it's absolutely crazy. Uh, 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 really small plot hole. Honestly, small plot hole. She could have used her fruit in Z twice to make him even more dangerous to the world. Uh, her fruit. Yeah, the fact that she didn't use her ability twice and literally just kill Nami and pretty much age Robin to a baby was kind of weird. Maybe she has a cooldown on her ability. Uh oh, but yeah, you do make a good point that she could have used a returner fruit to de-age Zed by 12 years and put him even more in his prime. One of the few times Luffy lost a 1v1 with the fist Z gave it. Yeah, no, that was honestly devastating to see. Your theories are always welcome. Well, thank you. So the last film that we're going to talk about tonight is One Piece Film Red. Um, so as I said, I've talked about it on here before, but One Piece Film Red pretty much starts off with the Straw Hats, and so One Piece Film Red is the setting of it is um especially in canon events. But to be honest, Film Z is also hard to place because how do you place what Kuzan is doing? I mean, Kuzan has a canonical timeline. He went and started doing his own thing, and he uh, stopped Doflamingo from killing Smoker. And then he joined the Blackbeard Pirates. He said, I had a scrape or something like that, talking about his fight with Kanu that turned Punk Hazard into the ice and magma hell that it is today. And so he shows off that his leg is gone and he has to use ice to create a new leg for him to walk on. And so uh but then at one point like people are like, hey, what are you doing right now in the world? And he's like, I'm just kind of doing my own thing. So I and when he stops Doflamingo from killing Smoker, but that would also mean that Film Z would technically have to come before Heart of Gold and no, yeah, Film Z would have to come before Heart of Gold and Film Gold because of Nami's reference to Luffy beating Doflamingo. So pretty much it has to be Strong World, Kuzan fight on Punk Hazard. Film Z, Kuzan stops Doflamingo from killing Smoker. Then Luffy defeats Doflamingo. Heart of Gold, Film Gold. Um, I actually think that Nebulandia is after Strong World. So after Strong World, right when they're in the beginning of the New World, um, and then of course Film Red is in a weird like non-canon place because as you remember, after Zhao, Sanji has gone off the crew. They have to go find Sanji. The crew splits up. So pretty much I don't know why Oda said Film Red was canonical, because Film Red does not fit into the timeline canon at all. Like the only way you could have Film Red is in between Dressrosa and Zhao, and Luffy would not have even had a notion of turning into Gear 5th then. So yeah, I don't know why Oda said that Film Red was canonical, because there's no possible way it can fit into the timeline. But anyways, Film Red, Shanks' daughter left behind on island is really mad because she was left behind. Pretty much, she starts sending out like videos to the world to sing to them, and pretty much has like a gigantic concert that brings everyone in. Turns out that she's actually tricking all the song fruit, and anyone who hears her song is trapped in the song world, and she can completely control and reality warp that world. On the outside, everybody else is sleeping. Long story short, Luffy and her used to be friends. Now Luffy has to pretty much convince her to not do bad stuff, so that he doesn't have to beat her up. And he's trying to get her to release everybody. So in the end, they have to fight a giant giant demon named Top Musica, which has to be and the song world at the same time. And the final blow has to be done at exactly the same time. And Shanks and Gear 5th Luffy deliver that final blow. One big thing I did not like about this movie is that even though Uta was apparently under the spell of Top Musica, she still did some very horrible things. And the fact that she wasn't like knocked out or defeated or straight up killed in the end really bugged me. But yeah. Tricks here. Tricks are saying, nice map out on movies. Thank you. Film Red doesn't fit. It's likely only Shanks's daughter is the only canon, and the character that truly deserves that before I said that, but yeah, no, that's what I hated about the end of the movie, is that she should have literally gotten the crap beat out of her, and the only reason she didn't was because they were like, well, we can't have Luffy beat up Shanks's daughter, who's his friend. And I'm like, Luffy like beats the shit out of his friends all the time. But yeah. So sorry this got very long-winded. This was like a full 50 minutes, but I love talking about stuff like this. That is a rundown of all of the One Piece movies. Pretty much, if I had to sum up the One Piece movies, it would be it would pretty much be Rosa and Zao. A lot of shit happened that didn't really happen, and also Zoro, like the king of getting kidnapped. So yeah, Zoro the king of getting kidnapped. that's about it. It was a long, fun episode. Well, thank you. So as for the plans for stuff coming up, so this Friday I will be doing a live reading. Actually, there was already spoilers for it at Jump Festa, and BDA Law already put out a thumbnail that really spoiled something. So thank you so much, Brago, for doing that. You're a wonderful guy. You're not. But anyways, we're gonna be looking at 11:02 on Friday. Next week is Christmas week. And I do have a video planned for this week. I'm planning on doing the thing that 2023. We're going to take a look back at what was the best times and the worst times of 2023. And I'll make a video about that. Next week's Anime Legends Christmas is on Monday, so the 26th will be Tuesday. And I honestly I'll put up a video, but I honestly think I'm going to say that we are going to be skipping Anime Legends for next week just because it is the day after Christmas, and we're just kind of going to do a holiday break, probably up into the new year. So so do not expect any content until probably about January 7th is what we're going to be looking at. And by then we'll be into 2024, and we're going to have a great 2024. I'm super excited. But that's all. Thanks for listening. Keep YouTubing, YouTubers. Don't fight the fro. And always remember that Zoro always remember to kidnap Zoro.